Hi and welcome back. I'm Jan Herkosh with True Healthy Products and the FuellessGenerator.net. If you're watching this on YouTube, to learn more, visit FuellessGenerator.net. The video prior to this one, we unboxed our L-1500, we unboxed the solar panel, and we also unboxed a Anderson extension cable for the solar panel to DC charge your L-1500. In this video, we're gonna discharge it a little bit, pull some energy out of it. I've got a myriad of lights. We got drills and grinders and power tools. This will give you an indication that the unit can put out some strong wattage and amperage to run power tools in the time of need. You know, you may be not just running a light bulb is what you're thinking about. You may not just be wanting to run your fridge or boil some water, cook some food, whatever the case may be. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to use power tools to do anything you needed to fix? So I'll demonstrate that now, and we can be looking at the meter and running that a little bit. So what I intend to do in this video is just discharge the unit, and then we're going to plug it back into an AC source and then show you how the unit recharges, and then that process so that we could get the unit back up to a full charge and then store it in the time of need. Again, the unit can hold a charge according to the manufacturer for a full year. What they do recommend when you look through the manual, shown here, that every 6 months you take the unit out, plug something into it, let's say a light or even plug it into your fridge, or draw some power out of it, use the device, and then plug it back in with your regular AC cable into your wall, charge the unit back up, put it away, rinse and repeat that process every 6 months. They just recommend pulling it out, discharging a little bit, getting it back up to snuff, putting it away. Then you know the unit's still functioning well and is ready to deliver power in the time of need. Again, you don't have to, but they're recommended every 6 months, so I would follow that suit just to make sure you know the unit's in good working condition. Even though you're using part of a cycle to discharge it, you know, the unit can be cycled up to 2,500 times, which is an enormous amount of cycling for any battery. I think that's one of the key components that makes this unit so unique, is that you can discharge and recharge it so many times and still have a decent battery at that point. All right, so I'm going to lean the unit over to this camera, and hopefully we can see the meter without too much glare. And I'm going to hold down that for 3 seconds. We're going to power the unit back up. Okay, so it's live. In order to get power coming out of the AC, we need to push this button, get another beep. You hear the fans kick up again, so now the unit is ready to discharge DC power, AC power, or DC through the cigarette plug. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take this regular, it's a little lamp, but it's got this is the type of light you put outside your house. I believe it's a 100 or 150 watt light bulb, which floodlight. So it's not a real efficient way of running the unit. So I'm going to plug that into the unit. You see it's plugged in here. And then I'm going to crank this light up, and you can see some light come on here. So it's light. Now, what we're going to notice here in our screen, using just this one light now, which is drawing a fair amount of energy and quite frankly wasting a lot of energy because it's not an LED, which I'm going to show you next, is it says with the amount of charge in the battery currently right now, we've got 2 hours and 46 minutes of runtime running this device, running this light. Okay, so you're really going to burn it out fast. So I'm going to turn that light out, and then you'll see this voltage crank back up again. I should say hours and minutes, I should say, not voltage. Okay, so I'm going to take this light out, set that aside, and here's a light that I just got. This is just an LED, and I think I got this at Lowe's the other day, and I think it was $6. Actually, it might have been less. So what is this? 450 lumens, and it's going to use 6.5 watts of power. I don't know if you can see that in here. So this other light was drawing about 150 watts of power. So not efficient, a lot of heat wasted. And this one, now again, but this was putting out, let's say 120 to 150 watts. So lots of light, but really kind of wasted light in the time of need. Again, let's take this LED. Now it's only going to put out the equivalent of 40 watts. But let's crank it up just for fun. I'm going to put that in this light. Screw that in. Okay, I'm going to turn that on. Whoops. Yeah. And maybe it's not going to work for me. Well, how about that? Maybe I should have tested this before I tried it. So maybe that's why it was so inexpensive. It doesn't work. All right, so we got a dead light. So that's not very good, so I can't use that. Let me just duck behind the black screen and see if I can find another light here. Okay, back from behind the screen. So just for fun, let's use this style of light. You've all probably seen these style. Again, they're going to be more efficient. Let's plug one of them in and see if we get some. There we go. Okay, so we see this lit right up. I'm not sure what the lumens on this particular bulb are. It's probably about a 40 watt, I'm guessing. But just for fun, we're gonna leave this run for a second. I'm gonna lean this machine over. And now if you can see what we have here, this is drawing very, very little amount of power, and it's still showing 99 hours of life left just using this light. So the experiment, or what I was trying to do with this other LED, which I'm going to have to take back because it doesn't work, was this style is drawing a lot less power. It's not quite as bright as this, but in the time of need, you know, inside your house, when you have no power, you can see that this is an efficient way to discharge the L-1500. You could run 2 or 3 of these probably to get as much brilliance as this and conserve the battery life. So that's what I really wanted to show you here. So that's another example. So I'm going to just tilt that back, turn this off. And I have another really small LED light. Now I'm pretty sure this one works. I believe this draws, looks like 2.5 watts of power. And it's, I don't know what the lumens is, but this is not a very bright light. However, I'll crank it up so you can see that it's on. Again, if I tilt the machine over and we look at the amount of time left, we still have 99 hours. Now this light, this configuration with this just to have light to read, to whatever you need in the time of need, if you're conserving the L-1500, it says 99 hours, but I'm guessing this would last for probably a week, 2 weeks maybe, running this light bulb with the L-1500. So, because it's drawing almost no power, and if I touch this, it puts off literally no heat. So again, 2.5 watts. Run for a very long time. So let's tilt that back over. I'm just going to unplug this light now. So you get the idea. Efficient. And when you buy light bulbs, check them out before you demo them on video. So we'll move this out of the way. And let's say, well, we had a hurricane or something terrible happened, and you've got your power drill, which we all know and love if we were to build things. So we can tilt this back over. Now, I'm not sure how much energy this draws. I could show you, but with a meter. But let's just see what the. I'm going to run this, but pull it away from the microphone. So you can see it running, and let's see how long that'll run. So that's saying, by running this drill, it got to say that it'll run this for about an hour. So this is pulling, these are high amperage devices, but would you need to run this thing for an hour in the time of need? No, maybe not. Maybe just a few minutes here and there to fix, whatever might have broke during the time of need. You know, a storm, you had to fix a window, a door, I don't know. So your typical power drill, that's going to work. That's going to work. The L-1500's going to do it. Let's move to some even bigger devices. Here's a saw, reciprocating saw, and I'm going to plug that baby in. Again, this is a little loud, but this is just for a demonstration to show that the unit can and does provide a fair amount of power. Now this is going to draw way more amperage and power than that drill, but I'm going to pull it down here, run it. And now it's saying 49 minutes, 51 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop. So it went down to 53 minutes or 54 minutes-ish if I was seeing it right there, but I was kind of doing a dance here, making this work. So you can see, again, even if you needed to run something like this to fix, repair, whatever, the L-1500 is going to be able to accommodate that. And something to keep in mind if you were using this unit as a construction worker, or you might be out somewhere where you might have a gas generator using, you could have a couple solar panels set up, keeping power coming into this and draining at the same time. So you could literally use this for work purposes on site as a construction worker or whatever you might need power away from, not just using it for a disaster or when you needed power like that. I ran this earlier. It works just fine. This is really noisy, but this draws, and it went down to about 45 minutes or an hour as well because they're high amperage. But the idea was to show that you can, the unit is very, very powerful, 1,500 watts at about 40 amps. So again, you can hear the fans running, still going here. We really haven't used a lot of the battery at this point, but it is just charged a little bit. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I've got an extension cable here, and it's plugged into a little kilowatt meter, and I got this at Harbor Freight. You can get them at a lot of electronic stores, or where they sell, probably Home Depot and Ace Hardware, wherever. Probably you could buy these. And we'll be using this meter, and you can see there, if you can see it, it shows the voltage here coming into the meter. So this is just plugged into my house. It's showing 114.9 volts, okay? And then you can go to how much amperage you're using and how much wattage. So this is a good indicator to test things and find out how efficient they are. And I'll be using this when we plug our fridge in or when we plug some cooktops in, just to give an indication of how to be more thoughtful about what you're plugging into your L-1500 when you're using just solar to recharge it, or the hand crank, or some other means of charging it. And I will get into a video actually later on about how you can even use your car safely to charge this unit using another add-on device, but it makes it very safe. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off the output section. AC's off. Okay. So I'm going to leave this up live. And I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to try and hold that if I can into your wall. This could be going right into your socket. Okay, now we've gone into charge mode. So now what we see in our we see this little battery being charged, and it says 0118. So an hour and 18, it looks like, to full charge. So this is going to take some time. So we've discharged it, but it probably wasn't totally charged up when it came in. So we can see right now that it's drawing 374 watts. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna put that over. So if I can get this in here, I gotta get it just the right angle so you can see it. There you go. So it's drawing 374 watts, 4.52 amps of power, and it's 110, is it 110? 110 volts from the meter. Again, amperage. So not an enormous amount of energy, but 373 watts of power. And this is by far the fastest way to charge it. So this is basically just charged into the wall, and it's showing us, and what's going to happen is this is going to count down as it charges the unit, and eventually it's going to show full after it goes through what they call a period of balancing all of the batteries, making sure they're optimally charged. So the unit, when we got it, had a charge, but it probably looked like it was probably only halfway charged. So this will keep cycling and going till it's done. So there you have it. And I believe now I can turn the machine off. And I can leave it in, and it's still going to be charging. And when it's done, apparently I'll get a full here, or I may have to turn it back on. I'll have to do a little bit more reading. But that's just the gist of it. I'll turn it back on again. We can see that I think you can see it. So it's going to take a minute to register and decide what's going on. And there we are. Now it's 1 hour and 17 minutes to a full charge. So there you have it. That's just basically charging units. So you just leave it in, forget it for an hour, come back in an hour or so, see where it is. Once it hits full, unplug this, turn the machine off, and then store the unit. Okay. So that's basically just charging the unit a little bit. We didn't plug USB. We didn't use the USB ports. We didn't use the cigarette lighter or the DC, but in other videos we will look at that. I just wanted to show you that the unit can run. It does put out a significant amount of power. It'll work for a lot of different diverse uses, and it's pretty easy to charge. Just plug it in there. Now in future videos we're going to be discharging the unit again, using a fridge. I'm going to show some neat tricks and techniques there. Again, how to charge it with your car, and then we're going to put a solar panel out at some point, and we're going to go through that charge process with using the 100-watt solar panel. Just trying to keep these videos not too long, because they could get a little bit boring. But anyway, you can see it's still charging away there. So again, as a user, when the unit shows full, unplug it, shut it down, and now put your strap on it wherever you want to store it. Put it somewhere safe in your garage, in your house, out of the weather. And so that's discharging the L-1500 with a variety of sources, and also using your regular home AC to charge the unit back up. Very simple, effective, and thanks for watching this video, and we'll be back again with more videos.